What happens when two of country music's biggest voices clash on live television? What you're about to hear will shock you. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think really caused this explosive confrontation. The studio lights were blazing as Kelly Clarkson adjusted her notes one final time. Today's guest was someone she'd looked up to her entire career, Reba McEntire, the undisputed queen of country music. What was supposed to be a celebration of Reba's legendary career was about to become one of the most uncomfortable moments in daytime television history. Welcome back to the Kelly Clarkson Show. Kelly beamed at the camera before turning to her guest. I'm here with the incomparable Reba McEntire. Reba, it's such an honor to have you here. Reba smiled politely, but there was something guarded in her expression. Thank you for having me, Kelly. Now I have to ask about your latest album. The reviews have been well mixed. Some critics are saying you're trying too hard to appeal to younger audiences. How do you respond to that? The question hung in the air like a storm cloud. Reba's smile faltered for just a moment. I'm sorry, what exactly are you implying? Kelly shifted uncomfortably but pressed on. Well, I'm just saying what the critics are saying, that maybe, at this stage in your career, you should stick to what you know best instead of chasing trends. Chasing trends? Reba's voice had an edge now. Kelly, I've been in this business longer than you've been alive. I don't chase anything. The audience sensed the tension. Kelly tried to laugh it off. I didn't mean it like that, Reba. I just think your fans love the classic Reba sound. My fans appreciate growth and evolution, just like any intelligent audience would, Reba shot back. Are you suggesting I should just keep singing the same songs for the next 20 years? Kelly's face flushed. That's not what I said at all. I'm just pointing out that some people think your new direction doesn't suit you. Some people, or you, Reba leaned forward in her chair. Because it sounds like you're the one with the opinion here, not some faceless critics. The studio had gone dead silent, except for the hum of the cameras. Kelly's producer was frantically gesturing from behind the cameras, but Kelly couldn't see him. Reba, I think you're misunderstanding me, Kelly said, her voice getting defensive. I love your music, all of it. I'm just asking the questions our viewers want answered. Your viewers, or your ego? Reba's words cut through the air like a knife, because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you're trying to tear down someone who paved the way for your entire career. Kelly's mouth dropped open. I would never. I have nothing but respect for you. Respect, Reba laughed. But there was no humor in it. You call this respect? Bringing me on your show to basically tell me I'm washed up? I never said that. Kelly's voice was rising now. You're putting words in my mouth, am I? Because that's exactly what you're implying with your little questions about sticking to what I know best and not chasing trends. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Kelly tried to regain control of the interview. Look, Reba, I think we got off on the wrong foot here. Why don't we talk about your upcoming tour instead? But Reba wasn't backing down. No, Kelly. Let's finish this conversation. You wanted to talk about my career choices, so let's talk about them. You think I should just sit back and play it safe because I'm older now? That's not what I think at all, Kelly protested, but her voice lacked conviction. Then what do you think? Because right now it sounds like you're just another interviewer trying to make a name for herself by taking shots at someone who's already made theirs? The accusation hit Kelly like a physical blow. How dare you say that to me? I've worked incredibly hard to get where I am, and so have I. Reba's voice boomed across the studio. The difference is, I did it without stepping on other people. Kelly stood up abruptly, her chair rolling backward. I can't believe you're saying this to me. After everything I've done to honor country music and artists like you, honor. Reba stood up too, matching Kelly's energy. You want to honor country music? Then stop trying to put its legends out to pasture. The studio audience was frozen in shock as both women stood facing each other, the friendly interview having transformed into something much more volatile. Kelly's hands were shaking slightly as she tried to process what was happening. Put legends out to pasture, Kelly's voice cracked with emotion. Reba, that's completely unfair. I worship the ground you walk on. I've covered your songs. I've talked about your influence on me in countless interviews. Covering my songs doesn't give you the right to dismiss my current work, Reba replied, her voice steady but filled with steel. And influence works both ways. Kelly, maybe you should remember that." Kelly's producer was now making wild hand gestures, but both women were too locked in their confrontation to notice. The cameras kept rolling. "What's that supposed to mean?" Kelly demanded. "It means that just because you've had success doesn't mean you understand the struggles of staying relevant in this industry for decades. You think it's easy being in your 60s and still trying to create music that matters. I never said it was easy," Kelly shot back. "But maybe, just maybe, there's some truth to what the critics are saying." The words escaped before Kelly could stop them, and the moment they left her mouth, she knew she'd crossed a line. Reba's face went completely still. "There it is," Reba said quietly, her voice now dangerously calm. "The truth finally comes out." "You agree with them?" Kelly backpedaled frantically. "No, that's not what I meant. I just think that sometimes artists, all artists, need to be honest about where they are in their careers." "Where I am in my career," Reba's eyebrows shot up. "Kelly, I've sold more records than most people dream of. I've had my own television show. I've conquered Broadway. I've built an empire. Where exactly do you think I am in my career?" "That's not what I meant." Kelly was getting flustered now. "I meant that maybe it's okay to embrace being a legend instead of trying to prove yourself to people half your age." "People half my age like you, you mean?" The studio was so quiet you could hear the air conditioning humming. Kelly's face had gone pale. "I didn't say that," Kelly whispered. "You didn't have to," Reba replied. "But let me ask you something. Kelly, when you were starting out, struggling to find your voice, who were the women who showed you it was possible? Who were the ones who broke down doors so you could walk through them?" Kelly's voice was barely audible. "Artists like you, artists like me, women like me, legends like me. And now that you've made it, now that you're sitting in that host chair, you think it's your job to tell me when my time is up? Reba, please, that's not what I'm doing." "Then what are you doing?" "Because from where I stand, it looks like you're doing exactly what this industry has always done to women. You build us up, you use us when it's convenient, and then you try to push us aside when you think we're not useful anymore." Kelly's eyes were welling up with tears. "That's not true. I would never do that to you, wouldn't you?" "Then explain to me why your first question was about critics saying I should stay in my lane. Explain to me why you felt the need to bring up my age and suggest I'm trying too hard. Because, Kelly stammered, "people are talking about it, and I thought it would be good to address it head on. People are talking about it, or your research team told you it would make for good television." The accusation hung between them like a challenge. Kelly's mouth opened and closed without sound. Reba nodded slowly. "I see. So this was planned. You brought me here not to celebrate my career, but to create drama for your ratings." "No," Kelly finally found her voice. "That's not true. I genuinely wanted to have you on the show. To ambush me with loaded questions about whether I'm past my prime, it wasn't an ambush. It was just good television." The moment the words left Kelly's mouth, she realized her mistake. Reba's expression shifted from anger to something much colder, disappointment. "Good television," Reba repeated slowly, each word dripping with disbelief. "So that's what this is to you, good television." Kelly realized she'd just sealed her fate, but it was too late to take it back. "Reba, I didn't mean it like that." "How did you mean it, Kelly? Because right now, it sounds like you invited a woman you claim to respect onto your show just so you could humiliate her for ratings." "I would never humiliate you." Kelly's voice was desperate now. "You're taking this completely the wrong way." Reba took a step back, shaking her head. "The wrong way? Kelly, let me tell you something about the right way. The right way would have been asking me about my music because you genuinely care about it. The right way would have been treating me like the artist I am, not the has-been you think I am. I don't think you're a has-been. Then why are all your questions designed to make me defend my relevance?" Reba's voice was getting louder again. "Why am I sitting here having to justify my artistic choices to someone who should be thanking me for making her career possible?" Kelly's face crumpled. "Because I thought it would be an interesting conversation." "Interesting?" Reba laughed bitterly. "You want interesting? Here's interesting. I've been in this business for over 40 years. I've survived every trend, every change, every attempt to write me off. And you know what the most interesting part is?" Kelly didn't answer, tears now streaming down her face. The most interesting part is that it's always other women who try to put the final nail in the coffin. Men in this industry will ignore you, dismiss you, underestimate you. But it's the women who come after you who will smile to your face and then stab you in the back on national television. "That's not what I was doing," Kelly sobbed. "I swear, that's not what I was doing." "Then what were you doing, Kelly? Enlighten me, because right now it feels like you used my respect for you, my willingness to come on your show, to set me up for some kind of gotcha moment." Kelly wiped her eyes, trying to compose herself. "I was trying to give you a platform to respond to the criticism. I thought you'd want to address it by ambushing me with it. By framing your questions like the critics are right." Reba shook her head. "Kelly, if you wanted to give me a platform, you would have asked me what I wanted to talk about, not what would make for the most dramatic television." "I'm sorry," Kelly whispered. "I'm so sorry. I didn't think about how it would feel." "That's the problem," Reba said, her voice now eerily calm. "You didn't think about how it would feel to be reduced to a footnote in your own career. You didn't think about how it would feel to have someone half your age question your artistic integrity on national television." Kelly looked up at her, desperate. "Can we start over? Please. Can we just start the interview over?" Reba stared at her for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was quiet, but final. "No, Kelly, we can't start over. Because now I know what this really was. Now I know that when you invited me here, it wasn't because you wanted to celebrate my music or my career. It was because you wanted to create a moment. Reba, please, don't leave. We can fix this. Fix this." Reba reached down and unclipped her microphone. "Kelly, the only thing that needs fixing is your understanding of what respect actually means." She dropped the microphone on her chair and looked directly into the camera. "To anyone watching this who thinks an artist's age determines their worth, you're wrong. To anyone who thinks experience should be dismissed in favor of trends, you're wrong. And to anyone who thinks it's okay to tear down the people who built the foundation you're standing on, you're not just wrong, you're ungrateful." She turned back to Kelly one final time. "I hope someday you understand what you did here today. And I hope, when you're my age, someone treats you with more respect than you've shown me." With that, Reba McEntire walked off the Kelly Clarkson Show, leaving Kelly standing alone on her own stage, tears streaming down her face. As the cameras continued to roll on one of the most shocking moments in daytime television history, the studio remained dead silent as the reality of what had just happened sank in. Kelly had lost more than just a guest that day. She had lost the respect of one of the most beloved figures in country music, and everyone watching knew it. What do you think really motivated Kelly to ask those questions? Was it just bad judgment? Or something deeper? Subscribe for more explosive celebrity stories. And let me know in the comments what you think was really going through Kelly's mind during this confrontation.